Then we are live.
I can't hear you over the crunching. What?
We are live. It just went live.
Oh, it did.
Yep. Just a set cut.
All right.
You know,
well, welcome everybody.
Welcome to Coffee and Gaming.
I'm here.
The War Room.
Welcome to the War Room.
Yeah. Geez,
so, are we going to talk about the new pedophile pope that just got elected?
Alleged. Come on, give the and don't forget. Now, I'm not saying that all victims lied, but don't forget, many have been disproven.
Right. But he covered.
There's a scam going on. Okay.
Yep.
They'll have to attack the church, undermine its roots, so that they can take it over.
Oh yeah, a long time ago. Well, that's what the Marxists do.
Here we have a. All right.
Oh, well, you know what?
We have a message from. We have trouble streaming from Twitch. Remove the destination.
Oh, my brother's traveling again. I'm going to send a message to Appalachian American if I can find him.
Yes, please. We're telling we're live.
So, oh my goodness. Okay. Sorry, my wife sent me a long-winded text message that she didn't need to. But yeah, I mean, he definitely is an anti-Trumper. He definitely is a open borders.
He's an open border, but he is
New World Order.
But he's anti-LGBTQ plus.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like he's in the middle on that one. I don't know if he's anti so much as he's not ready to cast stones. I mean, it might be a good position to be in. I don't know, but
it might be the things you say to get elected.
It could be that. Uh-oh. He just said his computer wouldn't do something.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, he had a hard reset. Oh.
Yeah, probably crashed out. Yep.
Yeah. I wonder. There he is. Hey, I wonder if you had a Windows update going on or something.
No, yeah. I hit restart, and it just sat there on a black screen and like wouldn't do anything. It just kept saying restarting, and I was like, "This is weird."
And the thing is, we went live the moment you crashed out.
Really?
Yeah. David just happened to notice it, and I'm like, "Oh, we are."
Did it play the intro video or anything?
Not to us.
Nope.
That's so stupid.
But I have an in-stream button.
What a crock of crap.
I'm just here crunching my chips, and he's like, "Oh, we're live."
Nice.
Yeah.
Right, what a crock. And of course, they want us to pay. Hey, you know what? Hold on just a second.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
What is up, everybody? Welcome. It is finally Friday. We're live. Well, we've been live, but hey, guess what? We restarted it, and we're gonna keep this thing off the right way because we know how to podcast. Trust us, we are professionals. I'm your host, the Appalachian American, and I'm joined by a few fellow friends. Joining me, as always, my left-hand man, the author himself, David Applegate.
I reclaim my time. I will answer a question, but I'll accuse you of not answering.
Right. Right. Hey, we do have the channel dad, Brian Late. What's up?
And I'm getting buzzing in my ears.
Why?
I don't know. It's like someone's sending me a message, but I'm not running anything that would send me a message. And I have 3 dogs at my feet, and I don't know why they're suddenly here. What do you want?
Yeah.
Let's get crack-a-lackin', man.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened earlier, but apparently we went live 5 minutes ago, and the stupid thing just wouldn't go live until I had to reboot my computer, and then all of a sudden it went live as soon as I cut it off. So we're live. We're hanging out. We're having fun. Yeehaw. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. We got some housekeeping we'll save for later, unless you guys are really interested in it now, but I think we should probably just save it to later. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. A lot of stuff with Project Veritas and what's his name? James O'Keefe.
Yeah.
David, are you following any of that? I know we're kind of just jumping right off on the deep end, but why not?
I saw that he made an announcement, but I haven't seen his video on the subject yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything come out. It's just been a bunch of stuff, and I'm just like, well, okay.
Okay,
So
you made an announcement. You made a dead man video in case they do something before your video comes out, and it's like we've been saying on this channel forever: just do it.
Yeah. Supposedly, let's see. There was some news about Pam Bondi. She's got something else. Ooh.
Apparently, James O'Keefe has unearthed some stuff about Pam and others to do with the island. You can say the island, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we can say the island, but we can't say anything else because apparently YouTube is in full nuclear meltdown mode. Allegedly. But the allegations against Pam Bondi is she's making there was a previous guy who did a deal with Island Boy. Island Boy's deal apparently gave some blanket immunity to people that really pissed off Trump, but he couldn't do anything about it because the president has no power over the DOJ beyond asking them to do something. The same with Pam Bondi. Trump can ask until he's blue in the face, but he has no authority. His executive orders can't force him to do anything. And she and her friends can drag their heels ad nauseum. The only thing he can do is fire her. And insiders are saying he can't fire her.
Yeah, it would be interesting. She's definitely a waste, but she's been away since the first get involved. When I heard her name, I was like, no, because she's very much for red flag laws and stuff like that.
Yeah, my guess is that he's a black pill from Mitch McConnell, the last parting salvo.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised, and it's no longer a conspiracy theory. Waltz was outed as the leaker. He's been the leaker for years. He was the one who invited the journalist to the chat room. And he runs an application called the Israel app. Now, this app allows, and this apparently is a thing, insiders such as the DNC to share information unmonitored by the NSA with Israel. Unmonitored, unfettered, undetectable, untraceable communications.
Yeah, I'm having all kinds of internet issues. I got the internet symbol pulled up. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, dude, I'm just seeing something now where the head of FEMA, Cameron Hamilton, was escorted out this afternoon about 9 hours ago.
Right.
So I guess that's
Head of FEMA fired. New FEMA head issues warnings. Okay, the new FEMA head said that eliminating the agency wasn't in the public interest. I don't even think that's what Trump said. He wanted to reform and put them under a new budget.
yeah.
He threatened to quit a week ago, and then he wouldn't do his job. He wouldn't do anything. He's claiming the agency was going to be abolished. And yeah, he was just basically making a bunch of crazy conspiracy theory accusations. Because NPR is all over this story. What a shock, right? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing resembling facts from the NPR. The fact is, the guy wasn't doing his job. He was asked to do his job and work within the budget he was given, and he refused. He was asked to prepare a disaster plan. He refused. I mean,
I just don't understand why she's in the position she is. Like, it's obvious that there's an issue, and she's just not.
Look, it's been obvious in Washington for far too long. People are promoted simply by sitting at a desk. You've been there long enough, the guy ahead of you gets fired or he gets promoted, and then he goes on to the DNC or the media, and they're running out of positions, okay? The Clinton Foundation, the Obama Foundation. The Obama Foundation is billions of dollars in debt. Obama's letting it all rot, okay? He's doing nothing with it now. I think he's fired all but 14 staff. People are ignoring the real issues out there, and Trump has been weighed down by all these career people thrust upon him in order to make deals with various other things to get other things passed. This is why we need transparency. We need to go, Congressman, you congressmen or you senators, you put forward Pam Bondi or you put forward this other lunatic. They failed. That's on you, okay? But then again, the voting public don't have either the time or the inclination to keep track of everything. And then, of course, it's difficult to get involved in the primaries and go through the process of vetting people to only be let down time and time again. See, this is the problem people don't understand. The right has to do something. The left, to win, just has to do nothing.
Yeah.
It's so easy for these saboteurs to rise in Washington because all they have to do is sit at a desk and get seniority promotions every 5 years or what. And just hope that one of their promotions aligns with an election.
Yeah.
Well, Pam Bondi, she might have done something good in the past, but you're only as good as your last outing.
Well, she needs to be outed. Like, I've been kind of done with her. It's not a good. It's just not a good one. I mean, it's not a good. Whatever's going on has not been beneficial to the country, and I think
Look,
it ought to end.
Pam Bondi, however, did spill a secret that was not meant to be spoken of, and that is the fact that the FBI, before Trump got in office, deleted hundreds of hours of video footage.
Jeez.
That
Hey.
should have been case day one.
Yeah.
Destruction of evidence.
31 minutes ago, Alex Jones posted a loud explosion was heard in Istanbul, in the capital of Pakistan. India targeted airbase in
Boom.
Pakistan. 4 explosions occurred in a region of India. Translation: the war between two powerful nuclear nations is escalating quickly.
Well, Pakistan claimed to have shot down 5 Indian jets and a drone. That turned out to be a lie. Pakistan was actually embarrassed live on CNN during an interview. Yeah. CNN, of all people, broke the story that they didn't shoot them down. So a short time later, the Indian border crossing was attacked by Pakistani drones. And until just now, India hadn't responded. So obviously they hit hard. They hit the airbase the Pakistanis flew from.
What's about dang time? I've been hearing for 50 years World War III is starting tomorrow, and maybe it's finally going to happen.
Look, India is not our friend. They're Russia's ally. Pakistan's not our friend. They're in China's pocket and have been funded the Taliban for the last 30 years.
All right, I got to take a dog out.
Again?
Yeah, well, he's old and sick, man. He's got cancer.
Oh.
So he's peed in the house 3 times already today.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, the dog's done his duty. He's owed. He's owed. I'm not worried. He's owed. But dang, India and Pakistan for a long time. I mean, let's face it. India's told a lot of lies throughout its history, and so has Pakistan. And they both decided, let's be friends. Let's undermine British rule, kick out the British, and go our separate ways. And then Gandhi decided, nah, I'll keep the country under one rule. And so the Civil War almost tore them apart. Pakistan and Bangladesh were formed. Several times India tried to retake them and couldn't. I mean, it's all basically a war over water. This is a war over water, folks, okay? The majority of Indian water, the majority of Pakistan's water, the majority of China's water, and the majority of Bangladesh's water all comes out of the Himalayas. The problem is it hits us one big flood almost every year. Now, the West has tried time and time again to put in dams and all these other projects. The problem is we build them, walk away, but then so did the Pakistani workers, you know. This is what you get for hiring the cheapest, you know. You don't get quality. You get quantity.
Yeah.
Now, I get it. People are obsessed with saving human rights and saving human lives and protecting the innocents, but they go on goddamn freaking crusades that cost billions of dollars and they kill more people than they save. We saved this Ukrainian baby. Never mind the last decade of war, right? You know. Well, we saved some Ukrainian refugees and put them up in a hotel. And what about all the people who now don't have jobs because you took their jobs and gave them to someone else? The left just cannot reconcile their beliefs. They just constantly meddle. And the problem is there's a fallout constantly falls onto other people.
Yep.
Now, India is getting what they deserve because they just can't let Pakistan go. And Pakistan's getting what they deserve because they just can't let the idea go that they're somehow manifest destiny to rule the world, you know?
So what exactly? Why are they? Why are they doing?
Kashmir is what you would call a reasonable living space in the foothills of the Himalayas. It controls the flow of water to Pakistan and India and in part Bangladesh. Instead of leaving that region to its people, they all want to control it because it's cheaper than buying the water off them. It's cheaper than giving them money to build dams and maintain them. It's all about money and control. He controls the water, controls the people.
Yeah.
Now, Kashmir is the birthplace of Buddhism. Somehow, the Pakistani Muslims call it a holy land. And because Brahma lived there once, and I know Indians hate being told that their so-called God was just merely the first king of India. The first king of India was allegedly born in a cave in the Himalayas. But he moved, and so did his people moved out. They moved out of the Indus Valley to where Delhi is. They moved out. They gave up the land to the locals. So, but India claims it as a holy land, and somehow Pakistani Muslims, even though they're Muslims, claim it as a holy land. So, more power to themselves, basically, and F the people. Whenever somebody chants for the people, they really mean F the people, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't see the need, like, why. I don't know why they're dealing with why they're going to war. DEFCON alerts 24 minutes ago, we're at DEFCON 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is that a big deal?
Because it means that one or more countries has moved nuclear assets.
Dang.
Yeah. India and Pakistan have probably they've done this before. They take a couple of bombs, they drive them around the countryside, then they go into a mountain somewhere and detonate it in underground and say, see, we got a big bomb and we're willing to use it. And then America cuts funding to those countries, their economy collapses, and they say, we're no longer willing to use our bombs.
Huh.
It's all dick swinging by people who shouldn't even be allowed to run a paper shop.
So
But
if they do, well, yeah. What does the DEFCON levels mean?
okay, each is approach the war. 5 is full peacetime. 3, there's a war that threatens national security. 2, there's a direct threat. 1 is the threat is real and we're at war.
Yeah. Huh.
So DEFCON 3, there is a threat. There is a threat to national security, not a war. There's a threat. The use of nuclear weapons anywhere in the world is considered a threat to national security because it will create a massive escalation very quickly. You'll know it's real when they start evacuating embassies on both sides. Right now, everybody's going to be monitoring everybody's phone calls.
Yeah. And internet broadcast. So, hi, FBI agent.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah. I think twice have you been held hostage by Pam Bondi.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, the reason why India and Pakistan is fighting is because when Indian independence was granted, Kashmir went full independence as well. And instead of leaving the people of Kashmir be, the Muslims wanted to take it over and make it part of Pakistan, and they declared it a holy site. India took half of Kashmir as a preemptive strike, and they've been fighting, and Pakistan occupies half of Kashmir. Now the thing is, Kashmir voted to be independent, but over the decades, Kashmiri Pakistanis have been having 6 to 8 kids, thanks to US aid, and been pouring over the border of Pakistan ever since. But the thing is, there are separatist groups inside Kashmir and Pakistan, and Kashmir was a training area for the early days of the Taliban. See, the Taliban actually started as a separatist movement from Pakistan. They wanted to separate North and South Pakistan. But when Pakistan took over Kashmir, they went into hiding in Afghanistan. And then from Afghanistan, they got training with the Soviet Union, been terrorizing the West ever since.
I just did an update on X, posted we're going live. I didn't realize this, but StreamYard isn't showing us how many people's watching. There's 30 people watching over on X, so hello X, how are you? All you guys, hit the chat, tell us what you're talking about. Now it's jumped up to 50 because I just reposted that we're talking about the Pakistan and India situation. We did go to DEFCON 3 about 20 minutes ago, according to DEFCON warning systems. So that's something interesting. I don't exactly know,
Yeah. I'll fill you in on the separatist movements of Pakistan. Now, there are multiple. One was successful. That was the formation of Bangladesh in 1970, which separated from Pakistan in 1971.
Yeah.
They still have a successionist movement as of 2023, but they've basically done a deal between the Pashtuns and the Mahaj. But according to the Global Institute survey across Pakistan, most Pakistanis identify as Punjabis. That's 96%. 92% of people in the Pashto area and so forth, right? They don't identify as Pakistani. Virtually nobody in Pakistan is a Pakistani, okay? They're either Pashtuns or Mujahs or Punjabis. Okay, they are, and there's no, what you would say, it's a dialect rather than an ethnicity, right? You line them up and you couldn't tell them apart most of the time.
Yeah.
However, since 1947, Pakistan has been basically a separate state with called the Bengal Partition, and there have been 2 ethnic discriminations, mostly in eastern Pakistan. These grievances led to the creation of Bangladesh with the help of the Indians.
Man, so stupid Rumble, dude. Well, not stupid. I shouldn't say that. Rumble's not letting me go live. Apparently, we haven't been live this whole time over there. We've got people waiting. It says there's 5 viewers waiting. For some reason, it's not letting us go live over on Rumble. So I guess I'll remove that for tonight. I don't know. Maybe we'll try again. I really don't know. But apparently, we're at DEFCON. Like I said, we're at DEFCON 3, and people want to talk about it.
Right. Now, the major independence movement in Pakistan is the fight between the Kushtani, Lashtani, and Mujahid.
Yeah.
Mujahideen is where the Mujahideen come from, although, as you know now, them as the Taliban, even though they used to fight each other. Those two, they have became a movement against Pakistan, basically to take northern Pakistan again. And the Lashkar region wants independence as well, which would split it three ways.
David, keep talking. I'm going to reboot and see if that fixes anything.
Yep. Okay. Now, the biggest problem in Pakistan is water. Overpopulation has led to basically they're trying to grow too many crops in too little area, and a lot of it is rice, so it uses lots of water. Sanitation. They only have water in some places for sanitation for an hour a day. Drinking water is usually doled out by the UN programs at your taxpayer expense because they don't have drinking water because most of the water is deviated to huge farming projects, mostly controlled by the state. So the farmers make very little money and they're charged a fortune for water because water's their biggest revenue, because they're losing money on gas, because securing the gas lines is too expensive and the gas isn't very profitable. So most people in Pakistan buy gas on the black market in balloons. So Pakistan as a state is failing and crumbling, and fights over water and separatism and a war with India is the last thing they want. Whereas India, seeing this as an opportunity to crush Pakistan as a historical embarrassment. But remember, Pakistan was originally part of the Indo-Iranian population, and the Persian Empire. The Persians had an incursion all the way to the Chinese border for centuries. India had never been able to kick them out until the British. And the Maharajas, because they couldn't agree who would rule India, decided to let the British rule. And that's how we get that mess.
All right, I'm back, but apparently it's still not letting me do it. So I'm going to try to set up a new destination and see if I can get it to work. Because Rumble, people are waiting over on Rumble.
I know, you may have to download and upload.
Yeah, I might have to.
All right. See, there's no majority. The largest group in Pakistan, the Punjabis, are only a third of the population. The Pashtuns are 1/5, but the Pashtuns are heavily armed. They were armed by the Soviets, then China. And they have been apparently armed by China for the last 20 years. But most of the Mujahs are actually Muslims from other countries who fled to Pakistan for various reasons, including those persecuted in Iran because they weren't. What's the major religion of Iran? Don't say Muslim because it ain't Islam. It's a sect. What's the sect of Iran again?
I don't know.
I'm looking it up. Islam Iran dominant sect is Sunni. Oh yeah, they purged on tourism and they fled to India. And the Rashdans, yeah. So religion in Iran has actually thawed a couple of times since pretty much forever. The Shia took over, and that pushed the Sunni Muslims into Pakistan. They were the majority, but the Sunni were more violent, and most of them moved to Pakistan. So technically, Pakistan is more part of Persia than it has been part of India.
All right, I'm going to have to reboot my router. I keep saying I've got internet issues.
Right. Oh, so Pakistan's complicated history, is further complicated by every other ethnic group pretty much being a small state. Most of them have been there since the beginning, but they're basically most of them are foreign Indians. Most of Pakistan is either foreign Indians or foreign Indian descent out of Iran. And then again, the next biggest majority is Iranian. So again, but because they've been there and bred in for centuries, again, you have that problem. So you have the Sunni who came from Persia, you have the local converts, and they're fighting over the territory. Now, to some extent, the Pashtuns, they, again, that's northern Pakistan. They also, pretty much every invasion has been move in, breed out the local population, and then exterminate the local population. But eventually what happened is that because the Sunni created this, what do you call it? A feudal state. Yes, a feudal state. They kept the locals as peasant workers to work the fields. So, but of course, now that the water has become such an issue in Pakistan and India and China, but China's involvement in Pakistan is basically, let's create a mess for America, but India and Pakistan are both using Chinese missiles, French jets, Israeli drones. It's a mismatch, of course, and Russian tanks and Russian small arms with Chinese ammunition. It's a mismatch of deals and counter deals. But the latest round allegedly was triggered when India signed a trade deal with the UK, which cut out allegedly they're in the UK. Now, according to Chinese-made jets are flying in the Pakistani Air Force, and apparently they shot down. Again, Pakistan's claiming they used Chinese jets to shoot down an Indian incursion. India's saying no such incursion occurred. This is but India and Pakistan, according to BBC, are now engaged in a drone war in which they are sending drones across the border, and that the BBC is claiming that Pakistan did shoot down Indian drones, but some of them got through and hit the airport. Apparently, apparently there's now a range of tit-for-tat attacks across the border, breaking old agreements, decades-old rivalries are now restarted. Apparently, these are more sophisticated drones than previously seen in other conflicts.
Okay.
Apparently, if they're cut off by electronic warfare, they continue to their original program target.
What are we talking about?
India and Pakistan are now launching drones against each other's. They're both targeting each other's air defenses, radar systems, and India's managed to score one in Lahore, which Islamabad has denied.
Nice.
The BBC's confirming that what you said earlier did happen, that Indian Army did hit a radar installation near the Lahore airport. Apparently, this is a military radar station, not a civilian radar station, for tracking aircraft over Kashmir. Now, India apparently has bought $4 billion in combat drones from the United States. And Pakistan has acquired also drones from China, Turkey, and domestic, including the CH-4, which is a copy of a Turkish drone, which is actually a copy of the US early version of the US Predator drone. These aren't small drones; these are big missile carriers.
Hi, Rumble. We're live. Hey, Rumble. What's up?
Hey, Rumble.
Sorry to interrupt you. I finally got linked back up. I'm gonna have to do some stuff offline to relink these two. I had to make a new destination, and get that situated. So,
Okay.
hello, Rumble. How are you?
Hello,
I'm sorry
Rumble.
sorry we were late. If you guys ever go down to our LinkTree in the description, you'll see a link. You can always check with Rumble, X, or if you really want to go to YouTube, you can check YouTube. But Rumble, X is usually your other alternative. That's pretty good. And my mom's listening. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Seth, Mom. All right. Apparently, Israel is providing India with technical assistance, with Pakistan relying on Turkey and China in an ongoing arms race to build the next generation of drones, what they call swarm drones. These recent drone attacks have actually been part of an ongoing tit-for-tat war, apparently over the last year, which has basically gone unnoticed. Artillery and cross-border shooting has increased significantly, though, according to the British, the drone switching to drone-centric warfare instead of missiles and artillery, as observed in the Ukrainian conflict.
What are we talking about right now?
They're switching. Most of the for the last year, they've been firing artillery and missiles at each other across the border.
Who?
Now they're switching to drones. India and Pakistan.
Okay. I missed part of it, so I was trying to figure out.
Okay, these are less heavily armed than manned aircraft, and is considered as a constraint move to isolate the conflict to the Kashmiri border rather than a direct attack between India and Pakistan. More likely, Trump has gotten on the phone and said at the same time, in one in each ear, cut it out, you freaking clowns. And they probably stopped attacking each other across other borders, but they're still attacking each other in Kashmir.
Unconfirmed reports indicate the death of Nabi Mufaz and Roj Saba during the raids on the Pakistan Army. According to unconfirmed reports, Roj Deputy Commissioner Raj Thampa was killed during a Pakistan Army airstrike.
Yeah, he's the Kashmiri leader of the organization that India says has been attacking Indians.
This was 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, he was at a mosque. They have not confirmed whether or not. But the British confirmed the airstrike, but not the death.
That's crazy, bro.
But according to all the news outlets, most of Pakistan's weapons, frigates, fighters, some helicopters, they've been spending billions every month on war, basically. So this is nothing. This has been building. They've been buying Chinese jets, Chinese drones, Chinese missiles. They've been building for war for some time now.
It's been an airstrike.
Another one?
I don't know. It's just video. There's all kinds of different stuff. There's
according to this, it's 3 missiles. Yeah. 3 missiles from India.
Dang.
Apparently, Pakistan has scrambled its air force.
Oh, man. That sucks, dude.
Shutting down all flights. Foreigners are being routed to buses to leave the affected areas. They're probably going to get a ferry over to Delhi. There's still apparently foreign shipping in Pakistani ports still operating. Apparently today is the worst clash of the 4-day war. Although they're reluctant to call it a war, they're calling it a military clash.
59 minutes ago, he's rolling out on the street.
Yeah, JEM. Yeah. That's
it's early morning for them.
Okay, these represent 2 organizations the Lashkar-e-Taiba. They're a separatist group, but they want separatism from both Kashmir and Pakistan, and the Jal-e-Muhammad, which is obviously a Islamic organization that's targeting Indians in Kashmir.
Dang.
So, two high-profile assassinations today, not one.
10th
We
May.
don't know the name of the Lakhtari who was killed.
Today on 10th May at the time of Fajr.
Why are they shooting an airfix missile at nothing? Or is it a drone?
Enemy. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. I don't know what that means, so sorry.
I think he just said glory to God.
Oh, cool.
Except, he's talking down, right?
Yeah, I know. He doesn't know.
At the time of Fajr.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
We have
Okay, Pakistan is making noise that they're going to retaliate against the latest strike. Apparently, they're moving up S-400 missiles. These are not small. These are huge air defense missiles. So is India. Both India and Pakistan have Russian air defenses, by the way. So you're going to hear the term S-400 a lot. These are dual-purpose missiles. They can be seen as air defense missiles, but they can also be used to strike ground targets if you give them over a long range. Apparently, China is racing some supplies to Pakistan. Of course,
So why are they fighting?
I said this is over Kashmir.
Okay, so does India want Kashmir or does Pakistan want Kashmir?
They both want Kashmir because it's a source of water.
Okay. Who owns Kashmir?
Well, it was Kashmir. But they both occupy half of Kashmir each.
Gotcha. Okay.
Each wants the other half that the others have. And Kashmir has people who want them both out.
Nice.
So nobody's loved in this war. Nobody's innocent in this war. India are a bunch of colonizers. So is Pakistan.
Yeah. Let's see. It is confirmed now. Indian deputy commissioner was killed during the attacks on India's Rajor military base.
So
they did kill him.
31 dead.
Dang.
Death toll rising.
Daggone, dude.
On the Pakistani side, 40 paramilitary were killed.
Holy
more people die in a road accident more people die in road accidents in India than that. Come on, step up those. Are rookie numbers. They're spending millions of dollars to kill infinitesimal amount of people compared to their populations. This is all dick swinging.
Oh, what a time to rejoin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
not my pants and swinging.
we apparently are DEFCON 3?
3.
Oh, really?
And we're watching updates come in real time as far as what's going on with India and Pakistan.
Remember, two terrible people organizations got together to kill a bunch of Indians on the Indian side of the partition in Kashmir.
That's essentially Hindus against Muslims.
Yes.
Goes back, I don't know.
But according to the
30 years.
People's Union for Democratic Rights, they're both in the wrong.
Yeah.
Both sides are in the wrong and should get out of Kashmir. But if they do, there'll still be civil war in Kashmir, and the two organizations that are currently working out of the Pakistani side will just keep attacking the Hindus. So,
Yeah. Well, when their common enemy is gone, then they just fight each other.
Yeah. because there's just too much profit in it for them for their drug trade. I mean, allegedly, right? Just while India and Pakistan are fighting over water, the locals are fighting over the drug trade, right?
Did they grow poppy in that area
Yeah.
too?
Where do you think it came from?
So-
That's where it started.
How did it go back to Abraham's sons? I mean, I understand that for Christians and Muslims, but
Okay. The claim is that Muhammad is one of the descendants. The 13th is one of the descendants of Abraham.
Through Ishmael. It's Ishmael and Jacob.
yeah, wouldn't that be Christians and Muslims?
Maybe Jews.
No,
and
because Abraham was because the majority of Abraham's sons were Jewish.
Right. Well,
it makes sense
Jewish,
between Jews and
Muslim, whatever.
Muslims, but yeah, I don't know where the Hindus fall into there.
yeah.
Yeah. Because Hindus come from Brahmic religion, which is Brahma, which is their first king, although they claim he's a god.
Oh my gosh. Toby, what do you want now? This dog is driving me nuts today.
Mm.
And technically, they believe that Jesus is a divine being, but no more or no less than any of the Deva, which includes Brahma. So they're basically claiming their king is equal to Jesus.
Oh, nice.
But then again, they claim their king is a god above Jesus. So they got a little bit of confusion going on, to say the least.
Let's see.
All right.
Haven't seen anything else, so.
News is constantly coming out of Pakistan, but it's mostly bluster. India is apparently India used Chinese cruise missiles to strike Pakistan, which is ironic because Pakistan was in the middle of purchasing Chinese missiles, probably to strike India. China's spending billions on this, by the way, they're ramping up drones and selling them to India and Pakistan. So, hey, war profiteering. India and Pakistan, who fights? Who wins? Chinese drone makers, of course.
So apparently, a Fox News anchor fainted live on TV 21 hours ago. Let's see. This was interesting.
Knives are out for Fetterman.
It's not about.
Oh, okay. I saw the beginning of this. Yeah, she was.
We're just going to get some help here for Cameron. Let me come back to Lydia while we get some help for Cameron here.
She didn't just get a jab, did she?
I don't know. See what the comments say. Based on posts on X, camera can report fan live stream broadcast. May 8th, 2025, some users mentioned paramedics attended to her and she was awake and alert afterwards. However, there's no official confirmation from Fox.
I thought she was on InfoWars a couple months ago. Her name looks familiar to me. I thought she was on Alex's show.
She might have
I don't know.
been. She might have been featured.
Maybe.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
Oh, that's Cameron Balin. Maybe that's a different Cameron.
This is Cameron. Let's see, what's her name?
Cameron Kinsey.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was on InfoWars April 27th.
Dang.
So just a few weeks ago. Oh my goodness. Now the other dogs are making noises.
Hey, did anybody notice that Jimmy Kimmel wasn't on the air?
Nope.
Nope, nobody cares. No one cares. Dang, we got 240 some people watching over on X.
Nice.
What is up, X?
Yep. Any nervous? Any of those
Do you hear
things?
about a Chinese humanoid robot that in a race to beat Elon Musk's Android market? The Chinese have stepped up production of androids. Apparently,
the one that
went
went
on a
nuts?
rampage in a
Dude, that was hilarious.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's scary, but hilarious.
Yep.
Skynet's real.
Yeah, Skynet's coming.
Well, I saw a thing on I don't know if it was Threads or if it was Instagram, but there were, it was clearly a woman that they had disguised as a robot. But it was like the future. This guy goes up and fixes his girlfriend. Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. And people are like,
but I know the one you're talking about too. Yeah.
Yeah. People are like, oh, the AI is going to, it's getting, we don't want to do this or whatever. I'm thinking, yep, the AI will get really good. They'll impersonate women too well, and men will have a MGTOW movement against their robot girlfriend. So,
yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Dave.
Democrats are trying to oust Fetterman.
Again, did he agree with something that Trump was doing?
Yeah, he agreed with the tariffs, saying how it's saving union jobs.
They are.
Which it is. The unions are saying it's saving union jobs.
Yeah.
Oh, and he also appeared in a photo recently with Netanyahu. So 2 strikes against him, right? Agreeing with Trump and siding with Israel. 2 things the left hate right now.
Yeah.
Can't think of a third thing, but if there's a third thing, they'll find it.
War Pig retweeted your announcement for the show. I don't know who that is.
But Chinese announced 5% growth, and the Chuds are saying, in your face, Trump. And Trump don't care because China's lying about their
number fake.
40% of container ships in the last 4 months have been empty. All of them coming out of China. 40% of empty ships. I don't think that means their economy's growing. I think that means their economy is lying.
Yeah, no, they're having some problems.
They've just decimated. Really, they just decimated 3,500 buildings in Shanghai.
Yeah, well, aren't they having riots and strikes and all kinds of things?
They built housing for foreign workers in Shanghai, and the locals rebelled and burnt them. So they had to tear them down. They're going to bring in Africans to replace the Chinese workers.
When your offshore gets offshored.
Yeah.
Toby, why are you whining?
Toby,
but according to China Watch, the aging Chinese population are taking early retirement, and that's why they're trying to bring in foreign workers, because they don't have enough kids to take the jobs. They have lots of old people, but they don't have any young people to take the
one child. They don't have enough.
Yeah.
Although they've started having more kids, so that's going to take 15 years before
they're slaves, and they're only going to last 15 years and die because China's is also seeing a rate in infertility.
Well,
see, the problem is what they're not telling you. It's there's only a certain amount of people left in the world who are fertile, and unfortunately, most of the really rich people, and because they're not having kids, these companies are falling in the hands of boards of directors and people like Bob Iger, who just loot the company for instant wealth. Basically, they don't understand. What do you mean reinvestment? We have $1 billion company. We just take it, so they don't understand the difference between asset wealth and profit wealth.
Yeah.
So they loot the company, overspend, underperform, underpay, and then they wonder why workers go out and create their own companies and create movies with AI for 1/10 of the price. Sure, in the short term, Trump will save Hollywood for now. But at the end of the day, somewhere someone is going to go to Russia or China or India with AI and start mass producing movies there. And the rest of the world will get a VPN and tune into Punjabi Netflix. Because the AI will tell them what they're saying in English, right?
Right. Well,
Because
you type in the paragraph of what do you want to see, and it'll say processing, and then you wait about 2 minutes, and then it'll give you your 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
And the thing is, well, at the end of the day, are you going to pay $200 a year for Netflix, or $10 a month to watch maybe a handful of movies, and you haven't got time for Netflix, so it might be doing a slight discount, but you're going to go watch those movies instead, right? Because it gives you what you want. You don't care about the actors. You just want something to zone out while you drink your beer and go to sleep, right? Or it'll be porn flicks and you entertain yourself for 2 hours. But they've really created themselves a problem. India's tourism has dried up overnight. Pakistan's economy is already crumbling. China's saw an 80% drop in tourism.
Yeah.
And somehow it's Trump's fault that Disney's losing money.
Well, they've been losing money for years.
Well, they're also blaming Trump's tariffs for the collapse of Ubisoft.
Oh, it's not their crappy games and the horrible things they do.
It's not the DEI hire or their Black Electric Boogaloo Samurai.
Oh, yeah. That, and they kind of irritated their own player base
by telling them they don't own their games and they have to rebuy the remakes to play them again.
Oh.
And then selling their IP to Tencent. I'm sure that wasn't orchestrated.
Yeah, really.
No, we didn't collapse the company on purpose to sell it to Tencent for billions of dollars now because we're too old to spend the profits. Otherwise, we don't want the profits. We want the cash out. Meet me out back. Pay me the money.
Yeah.
But these IPs are worthless anyway. I mean, although we could probably see a turnaround. I mean, Tencent is a multi-billion-dollar company, but mostly because for the last 40 years, Westerners have been transferring IPs to them or letting them copy everything and getting away with it. It's ridiculous. This obsession in the left, particularly in Europe, with new ideas. Yet there are millions of books out there. You have the ideas, you just won't turn to others. You want to destroy. You cannot build a new society on the ashes of the old because you only know how to destroy. And of course, Ukraine's upset that there's a war taking all the attention off them. But there's a ceasefire, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Ukraine, yeah. Kim Il-jung is giving a rare interview.
Do people still care about Ukraine?
No. No.
Seems like nobody cares.
No. I think more people tuned in to watch Putin's VE days. Yeah, more people watched VE Day on the Russian news than the BBC.
Oh, well.
I'm talking about more people in UK watched the Russian news than the BBC. And the Russian news only got 30,000 views. The BBC got 7,000. Shit.
Yeah. I guess we should. Let's see. What else was there? There was something else I saw today. Yeah. Oh. Guess who gets to celebrate Father's Day this year?
Who?
That chick from The Last of Us. Did you hear about that?
I don't really follow potato news, but what has potato done this time?
So now apparently there's a scene, a real scene where the chick from The Last of Us, the TV show,
Yeah.
tells the girl, "Oh, so I get to be a dad?" And she's like, "Yeah." It's like, oh my gosh.
That's not just a meme. I keep seeing that.
It's everywhere, and it didn't happen in the game.
Well, of course not.
That show is going to be
Jeez,
something else.
They could have saved that guy by having those two scissors. I mean, that would probably save the game.
Jeez, David. Oh, that was one ugly woman.
I know, but still, it probably would have saved the game because
People
would have had something to.
People are definitely like, "Oh, you shouldn't make fun of her. She's a child." And they're like, "Dude, she's in her 20s, man. Like, grow up.
She's not a child.
Welcome to the internet."
They're freaking out.
Yeah.
All right. Trump has picked a new Surgeon General.
Another. Oh yeah, the redhead.
Casey Means, yeah.
Yeah.
She's joining the crusade again. So it turns out, all these artificial flavorings and colorings that the left are now championing, they're all oil products. So the left played themselves. You're now championing oil products.
Well, they're just, whatever's popular, they're against it.
Oh yeah, of course.
You mean whatever gives them whatever doesn't pay them the most. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay us or we'll protest.
Whatever it is, I'm against it. No matter who. How does that song go?
When?
Who commenced it? I'm against it. The song's well over 100 years old, so I think we're good on copyright. Right? Wasn't that?
But I'm pretty sure that it was true then, and it's true now.
Yeah, it's Horse Feathers, Marx Brothers.
Yeah,
Mark Groucho sings it.
Trump is accepting the deal with Congress to see a tax increase at the top end.
1932, so it's almost 100 years old. I'm sorry.
Nice.
Copyright's expired, everybody. 75 years after the creation, isn't it? Or the creator's death. Don't know which.
Unless you're Disney.
Unless you're Disney, yeah.
Mickey Mouse is still copyright.
But not the rodent. You can do a rodent. You just can't put bowling balls on its head.
Yeah. Those aren't ears. Those are bowling balls. All right. Toby's back, but he's behaving. Get grief.
People are bitching about UK's trade deal, saying Trump scored low-hanging fruit. No. UK was the biggest holdout on trade deals. Yes, their tariffs may be small, but it's the non-tariff stuff that...
Yeah.
See, UK may have a small tariff, but they also have quotas, and those quotas are now gone. That's the big... Okay.
That's a big
Trump
deal.
Is not attacking our allies. Our allies are taxing us, and then so.
Well, the U.S. was set up to get crappy deals, so
yeah,
that was how the whole New World Order was supposed to be. He's messing the whole thing up.
And Hungary's come out and made a major announcement that this whole thing was set up in 2016.
Which whole thing?
Ukraine war, everything. And what happened? Ukraine suddenly arrests a Hungarian spy network. What a coincidence, right?
Yeah.
And they expelled Hungarian diplomats.
Well, the U.S. overthrew a democratically elected government.
No, I'm talking about the war, not the coup. I'm talking about
I know.
they set up the war.
I know. that
Yeah.
was all supposed to be under Hillary.
Yep.
And then she lost to Trump.
Yeah. And the whole thing was set up in 2016 to flood Western Europe with Ukrainians as cheap labor. No, really?
Yep.
Nah, I wouldn't have guessed. It's all a coincidence. It's Russian aggression.
Yeah.
Ukraine definitely did not shell Donbass City since 2019. Since Zelensky did not break the Minsk Accords agreement. That was Russia, everybody. Russian aggression.
Russia.
Everybody we don't like is a Russian spy. Remember that.
Or they're a Nazi. They're either a Russian spy or a Nazi. Depending on what you... Uh-oh. Did David freeze? Or did I freeze?
I think David froze.
David froze.
You ain't froze. Well,
Dang nabbit.
yep. One of these. What? So, one thing I wanted to discuss before we get out of here, and maybe once there goes David, he dropped. Wait, did he just send it on a private chat? Yeah, it was him. He'll probably come back. I think we're. Here he comes.
Yep.
You back, David?
David's back in town. David's back in town.
I think you're glitchy. We can't hear you if you're saying something. You're froze again.
Oh, he did. Oh, yeah. He's really slow.
He's real slow, and I can't hear him, so. One thing I wanted to end the show on talking about was some housekeeping. This was the major announcements and whatnot that I've been kind of thinking about the last couple days, really. I think this will be the last broadcast from my studio, which kind of sucks because I really like all my toys and studio stuff.
Yeah.
My family's getting, getting bigger, and kids need space, and unfortunately, things just haven't worked out the way they were intended to work out. We've had unexpected financial situations pop up, and those took place. Those took the necessity of my financial attention. So I think next week I'll be broadcasting from my dining room table. I think, which will be super inconvenient and kind of noisy.
Yeah.
So,
well, wasn't one of your problems? Didn't your chimney fall off? Or
yeah, my chimney. That was it. Like it was
yeah.
starting to push back on the push against the roof.
Right.
And so once that finished up, which was about $2,000 more than expected,
Yeah.
I wanted to get a shed that would be separate from the house that I could turn into like a man cave, and just have all my stuff out there, and just kind of that way I can be as loud as I want to, and hoop and holler and have fun and do whatever. But apparently that's probably not in the cards for the next at least year or two.
Yeah.
On the other side of that, this podcast probably, the StreamYard aspect will probably stop in September, when we are forced out of our StreamYard account, because the price increase is too ridiculous and I will not pay it.
Second price increase or a third?
No, it's just, I mean, I don't know if they've gone. No, they haven't gone up anymore, but it's the price increase from last year. See,
that was huge.
My account auto renewed in the beginning of September.
Yeah,
well,
that's right. At the old price,
I got this year under the old price. At the end of September, beginning of October, there was a price hike, and it went from $24.99 to $45.99.
And a lot of
Which
people held out and got a 40% discount for 12 more months, and probably they're not going to renew either.
no. So, like I said, I was able to get in and get the price that I had the year before, but unfortunately, I'm not going to sign that up again. We will probably have to move over to Rumble Studios, which everybody will have to get a Rumble account. A Rumble login to there's an app for Rumble Studios. David's kind of the master of it. He's been broadcasting from Rumble for what, a year now?
Almost. Yeah.
So we're gonna probably go over there, and you guys will start seeing links pop up for Rumble Studios, and we'll be going live from there.
There's going to be some glitches at the start because you're low priority. When you're low priority, you're late to the party. Yeah. So.
Well, honestly, if I could get a better, there are
better streamers out there, but they cost as much as StreamYard.
Right, but if I could get if Rumble Premium would give me a little bit better bandwidth, I guess, latency, whatever, then I would sign up for Rumble Premium.
But I haven't tried it because my because they only give you 7 days to try it out for free at the start.
What?
Rumble Premium. They give you 7 days.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it does anything.
No,
as far
it gives
as
you more. I think it just gives you more destinations.
Yeah. So we'd have to see. I don't know. It seems to be improving.
Yeah. But if you're just doing YouTube and X, Rumble does it, and Rumble it does it, and then on the free account, perfectly fine. Just now and again, you get the Rumble. You got to do the Rumble thing where you got to put up a stand-in video, and that stand-in video leaks to the other accounts every so often, which is why so many people on Rumble upload. But if you upload videos, you can't do multicast. Multiple hosts and stuff like that.
Right.
Which is weird, but that's what people do. They pre-record, upload live, and just sit there and chat with the chat. They're not actually. It's not actually live.
But see, that's the thing. So we're gonna be trying that out. I've got a Rumble Studio account. So I guess everybody else.
That's how I got onto it.
Yeah, everybody else will have to be doing that. Look into getting that as well, so that way when comes time, you can just click the link and you won't have to log into anything.
No, you don't need an account for this guest anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, guests don't need accounts anymore. Only hosts.
Gotcha. Well, that's good to know.
But it does ask you to approve, of course. Yeah, it does create a guest, but you can quickly change what number you are guest. You can change your name.
Oh, I haven't signed in with Rumble Studios since I
test.
Since I got my new computer.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, you have to upload a 2-minute video, which will be looped before the stream starts. That's weird.
Well, I mean, that's anytime you do a Rumble video.
Yeah.
My Rumble live streams have all my live streams on Rumble as of right now has a loop video that just talks about come check out our channels, all the links down below. While you're waiting for our streams to start, yada yada yada.
Gotcha.
So
Rumble had to create their own technology from scratch or pay YouTube millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Because Rumble started as the same as YouTube. Rumble, YouTube, and a lot of these stream platforms, they all started off the same template, right?
Yeah.
Streaming template. So Rumble had to create a variation on both the look and feel and the back-end technology for creating a pre-video. Basically, in order to stream a video, you need a video feed. But because you haven't, it's just something to do with the technology. Because you can't create a video feed before they do, they have to create one. So instead of them creating it, you upload it.
Gotcha.
So
that's why YouTube, you used to see that 30-second blank screen. That's YouTube creating a video feed so you can basically take over. They changed their technology long ago. So you could
get that in
from scratch.
What was a Google Play or what, or
no, it was YouTube who created, it was the YouTube Inc. who created the original template for streaming online.
Oh, okay.
And they sold it to Google for $1 billion.
Yeah, I can't remember what they call it. Google Hangouts. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. But Hangouts used that technology for a long time, and then they said, "Oh, we're gonna kick everybody off Hangouts so that we can create a corporate streaming service for $100 a month."
Yeah.
Which nobody uses.
Yeah.
Although Skype is shutting down, but they're shipping everybody to Microsoft Teams because they've created their own template rather than keep paying for the original template of Skype, which again is something that Microsoft bought, not created.
Yeah.
It's like Xbox and all these other things, everything, all the way back to Microsoft. Microsoft didn't create DOS. They created the file allocation table. They got handed DOS, which was created by Digital Research, by the NSA because Bill Gates paid a
it's the other way around. They bought QDOS, which was a copy of CPM. So they bought QDOS from Seattle Computer Company, but it was a copy of Digital Research's CPM.
Yeah. But allegedly, Bill Gates took a couple of politicians on a jet. Now we know who owns that jet, right? And we know what services that jet provides. And allegedly, Bill Gates is now creating a new foundation to get rid of his wealth.
Yeah.
Even though he created a foundation years ago to get rid of his wealth, but instead of giving
but he took over IBM's eugenics program that Watson started. That Hitler gave him an award for. So there you go, people. There you go. Highest civilian award given out by Nazi Germany was to an American businessman.
Yes.
Because he helped
who was a member of the Eugenics Society? H.G. Wells, Orwell, Truman,
lots of
Roosevelt.
So I love that, like, 30 minutes later, where nothing is trending from India and Pakistan.
Yeah.
Like, the rest of the world's like, don't care.
Yeah. Okay. As of 3 hours ago, Pakistan is basically zero. India is 3. India's conducted 3 successful strikes. Pakistan has basically been able to shell and deadly border station.
All right. Let's see. Who is the good guy and who is the bad guy of this altercation?
Both. They're both colonizers trying to take over a third country.
Okay. I was just curious. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what they were wanting to do.
Yeah. Both sides want to take Kashmir as their own. Kashmir was successfully independent.
And Kashmir is just for water supply, right?
Yes.
Okay. It's not like a capital or something, or
no.
Okay.
But for some Indians, it is a holy site because of Brahma's birth there, and others because it's where Buddhism was created.
Gotcha. Interesting.
But for the criminal world, it's the birthplace of the poppy.
Who's
Not a
the
puppy, a poppy.
Yeah.
Poppy seeds.
Not a poppy, the poppy.
Opium.
Yeah. A poppy that changed the world. Because all poppies contain opium, but only one contains it in sufficient quality to be commercially viable.
Nice.
Right. And when the
Um,
British controlled it, they pumped it into China.
China. Because
And
it
we
was
get
the
the
world's
Boxer
largest
Rebellion
market for
and
opium.
everything else. Yeah.
But it was legal around the world. But China was the largest market at the time.
Yeah. 19th century. It is amazing how many of the world's problems can be traced back to 19th century British imperialism. Thanks, guys.
mm-hmm.
All the screwed up well, some of that was starting to heal before the CIA got involved in the 50s, but because we couldn't have peace, because that
Yeah.
Because if we have peace,
Right.
we don't need spies or military.
Well, and we also don't. Things aren't expensive and things aren't as profitable.
Yes.
So
We can't create food shortages and control the populace if there's peace.
Yep. Exactly.
Yep.
But
we got to control them for their own good, though, David. Don't forget that.
And of course,
We give them
don't forget
poison shots
eugenics
for
is-
their own good.
yeah.
Yes. Don't forget, you can't have nice things. No spaceships for you. They're only for the elites when they need their final escape.
Oh, I can't believe Bernie Sanders said that about private jets.
Mhm.
Well, he was talking about spaceships, but yeah, they're only for the elites.
Only for people like me, not people like you.
Well,
Right.
But
he's
fight
been
the
a good
oligarchy, Bernie.
communist.
Fight the oligarchy.
He's been a good communist. Yeah, I fight the oligarchy. Why? So I can become the oligarchy.
Yeah.
I am the oligarchy.
Well,
Yeah, I'm the oligarchy.
I'm sad because I wanted to do coffee and gaming tomorrow, but there's a t-ball game that's super early. At first, I thought we could get up and get going about 6 and just go from like 6 to 8. But then I realized I was told this afternoon that it's at a field all the way on the other side of town.
Which means you need that extra hour for drive.
Yeah. So I was like, well, dagnabbit. So we're not gonna do coffee and gaming. There in the email I posted, stay tuned for, it might
stay
happen.
tuned, yeah.
And I was anticipating doing it early, but as soon as I heard him say it's at Burlington Field, I was like, oh great. Fantastic. So there won't be coffee and gaming tomorrow. I guess we start on deconstruction of the studio soon-ish, I guess. I don't know. As soon as my wife can make a place, because I'm like, she has a desk set up. She does like she makes like t-shirt design and whatnot. She can make specific one-off t-shirts. She has a side hustle called Farm Chic Fashion, and she kind of does all her designing and stuff downstairs in the corner of our dining room. And so what we're going to do is we're going to move my big computer down there, and she's going to use the computer and log in, and she'll use it for her stuff. So that way we can get her off. She'll be an upgrade from her laptop to an actual desktop. And then I'll put my microphone. I've got a little microphone stand that kind of sits on the count, like on the table, like you see late night hosts. And I'll just mount it and just have it on that, and then I'll pull it out of the box, set it up on Friday night.
Mine on a swinging arm.
Yeah, see, man, I'm gonna miss this. Having my little Power Ranger buddy sit here with me, and
yeah, but mine's got good pickup. If I have it any closer than this, it gets too loud.
well, now wait a minute. What kind of microphone is it?
It's stadium.
Huh? Because a lot of them, like this one. I mean, I've got an XLR mic, so I was told by a radio personality, Justin, which, by the way, today's Justin's birthday. So Justin
Yeah, I saw
Lloyd
that. Happy birthday, Justin.
from the
You didn't-
Podcasting Dead.
Yeah.
Justin Lloyd, happy birthday, buddy. You're awesome. Hope you're enjoying time at the beach. But he always said one fist between your microphone.
Yeah.
All right.
So
But yours is pretty clear, David. It's not like we're hearing
Right.
No,
other
but
noises
see-
in the room.
no, that's right, because I got a directional, so it's pointed straight at me, and the background filters both on StreamYard and
Not to
on
mention, you're
Discord.
really loud in general.
Yeah. Let's face facts.
I'm just picking you.
I've
I'm
told
picking,
people
dude.
this years ago. I have a condition. I always hear myself as loud. I don't hear I can't control my voice volume properly. Okay.
I know, dude. I'm picking with you. I'm picking, man.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I'm gonna be downstairs probably, which probably won't be that big of a deal for a Friday night because it'll be quiet. Everybody usually piles up in the
it's not like
bedroom.
you've got road noise either.
Yeah. Now Saturday mornings for coffee and gaming will probably be a little hectic because kids want to play, kids want to do stuff. They're going to be wanting to watch TV and stuff like that. So that's going to be really annoying.
Yeah. Is where you're
But-
going off Route 11?
Huh?
US 11? Is that off US 11?
What?
Where you're going tomorrow for T-ball?
I think so.
Yeah. That is kind of ways.
It's a school.
Yeah.
It's out in front of a school, Burlington Elementary School.
Yep.
So
Yeah, that's, I guess, off of Peters Creek Road, technically. And
Yep.
then Rusty Snyder is the one that's on US 11.
hmm.
But yeah, that is the other side of town.
For me, yeah.
That's just a narrow valley you gotta get through.
Yeah.
How many more decades of construction do they have on 81 through there?
I was told
Well, money
that
runs
they
out.
are 8 months behind.
Yeah, but they've been at it for how many years?
Right. Well, the section. All right. So yeah, you're right. The section of 81 from mile marker 137 to 141
Mhm.
from Salem to 581 is
Yeah.
8 months. That section is 8 months behind schedule.
Now, are they going to do anything north of the city? Here's what when I was driving back. So a couple weekends ago, I had to go up and get my son up at my sister-in-law's, right? So he's living with us for a while. And it didn't fully occur to me, and maybe it did before when we were moving from my mother-in-law's house, but it's like the interstates in Virginia are built to a specification like no other state. And it's like a specification out of the 50s because there's no left shoulder. It's when you come to a bridge, it's very narrow. There's no shoulder on the bridge. And sometimes the bumpers on things like that, I mean, you barely get a tire off and you're going to get collected by something.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. And because one thing I remember from years ago when I first drove in Virginia, the left lane is also tilted more. You can feel it. You drive out of Tennessee and you can feel your car go and it's just it's fascinating. It's like I don't get it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I know 81 was built when I don't know. My dad was telling me when 81 was built, they swore that there would never be a need for it to be three lanes, that there would never be that amount of traffic on it.
Yeah.
Fast forward to now, and they're like, we should have made it 3 lanes.
Yeah. Well, when I first started driving up there, when I first started dating my wife, and she was back home during the summer, during college. Yeah, you through Bristol. I don't know if you that was always 2 lanes until now it's 3 lanes. But even in the Tennessee, all that stuff you were driving through a few weeks ago, where it's not a Carl Outdoor World, is it? That whole big complex. It's the whatever.
The Pinnacle.
The Pinnacle, right? I mean, obviously none of that stuff was there, but you had what is that? 26 come in. Okay, that was and you look at that interchange. That's really tight. That's old school. But yeah, when I first started driving up there, so that'd been Christmas of 1990. So that'll tell you how long ago.
I was one.
And right. And you could go through Roanoke and maybe see a dozen cars.
Dang.
And now granted, 181 was there already. And actually, I think the thing in Johnson City was not Interstate 26 at the time. I think it was something else that really just kind of took you down into Johnson City. But, you wouldn't hit much traffic. There'd be a little bit between 81 and 64, between 81 and the mountain. But really, till you got to Charlottesville around, is that UVA? Is it University of Virginia? And the speed limit dropped. And then once you got past that, I would get to Richmond. Well, I'd get to 295 around Richmond. And it wasn't really until I got close to the 95 interstate that you saw anything. That was all 2 lanes. So I can understand that they built this thing in the 60s or 70s, because even 30 some odd years ago, there wasn't a need for 3 lanes on a lot of this stuff. This is just growth in the last 15 years, I think, 20 years maybe.
Yeah.
And
David,
then there's
this is the interstate that we're talking about, David. It's called 81, Interstate 81. It's the yellow line. It runs completely from south to north, and it runs right here in Roanoke is where I'm at.
That's where a lot of construction.
Everything you're saying about a 3rd lane has happened here too.
Oh yeah.
By the time they finished, you want a slack highway? They've been building the main highway here for 40 years, and they still haven't finished it.
Well, it's like they get approval for 1 more lane each way, and by the time they get done, they need just like
they haven't even finished Here's the thing: they haven't even finished putting in the 2nd lane after 40 years, and they're now starting on 3rd lanes.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I digress. It was just interesting that I was like, because there's parts of some of the old interstate system in Pennsylvania similar.
Yeah.
Because it was built in the 50s and 60s. Well, and then my dad,
a lot of highways.
Right.
Yeah.
So my dad was working for the highway department before he got shipped off. Well, before he got drafted and shipped off to Vietnam. They were doing stuff out at 64 out in Indiana.
81 will take you from Tennessee through Virginia, through the tip of West Virginia, Maryland. Pennsylvania.
You got near Hagerstown in Maryland.
And in New York, and then take you all the way up into Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, on the south end, it dead ends into 40.
Yeah.
And that's mainly because you get you're east of Knoxville. You have the Smoky Mountains to the direct south. The park and everything is in your way. You go around through Knoxville down. So by the time you get west of Knoxville, you have 75 continues on to Chattanooga and 40 continues on to Nashville. So you don't have another direction to go with the interstate. That's why it ends.
Yeah.
So. And then they're working on 74. There's parts of North Carolina, but the big part goes from Cincinnati west to Indianapolis toward Chicago, I think.
I never realized the big elevation change between Christiansburg and Roanoke.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's what, 1,000 feet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but you're kind of going up and down, and then you go right up.
No wonder your ears pop like crazy.
It's 4 lanes at the top there before you can go to Blacksburg.
Mm-hmm.
2 lanes go to Blacksburg and 3 lanes stay straight. So, but yeah, that whole interchange was nothing when I first started driving up there. I mean, I remember because when we moved to Marion, so in 97, we moved to Marion. So when we were going to her parents' house, we're coming from, north of Columbus. So we weren't going that way anymore. So for years, we didn't go that way. And I mean, probably almost 20 years. And then I think the first time I had been that way was when I came to visit you from Cincinnati. Because when we went to the beach, we were coming down 77 to 81. I love that interchange because you can go north and south at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's north 81 and south 77. So we were going that way, which is that south of all that stuff. But yeah, when I came in because I took that highway through Blacksburg onto 81, and I was like, holy cow, when did they do all this? so yeah, sometime in 97 was the last time we would have driven that until like I said, until I think I came to visit you guys and the old version of the show. And then when we moved to Virginia, lived with my mother-in-law for a while, we were coming along 64 essentially, right? Through West Virginia and across. So it wasn't until we came down here to look at a house that I had driven south through there. So anyway.
What before we go, what is the deal with Cash Patel? Because Senator Kennedy asked, did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him? And Cash said, I believe he hung himself in a cell in Metropolitan Detention Center. Kennedy, are you going to release all that information about that before I die?
What's the weird with his eyes? He's got one weird eye that always looking off somewhere.
Who?
I don't know. Cash Patel.
Oh.
Cash
I don't
Patel,
know what to make.
Okay.
Don't know what to make of him. No clue.
He was supposed to be this BA dude that came in and cleaned house and kicked butt, and he's been and Pam Bundy have been the most lackluster.
A lot of people, that's for sure.
He's what?
Yeah, it's a race to the bottom between those two. A lot of people say agents, the wrong ones.
They're shooting the satellites down again. Yeah.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, he's gonna lop off heads and everything.
With him.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
He lopped off the heads of departments. Okay, they were lackluster, but then he replaced them with lackluster deputies. He didn't do anything. Just basically created apparently the only thing he's been able to do is, it took months to stop a leak, even though the leak was bloody 13 people to interview.
Yeah.
And apparently he's more obsessed with his shooting score than his job,
Yeah. All right.
Apparently
James O'Keefe showed a video. Let's see. James O'Keefe has released a video showing Attorney General Pam Bondi in a restaurant just days ago having a conversation with a stranger about the Epstein files. In the video, Bondi admits they have so many videos involving Epstein and children and that each one has to be reviewed. O'Keefe is now demanding answers, questioning why she was casually discussing sensitive Epstein files with an unknown individual in the public before making any announcement to the public.
But we already knew that. She said that weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the O'Keefe meeting thing this week is pretty much a wet fart. He made a bit, a lot of the big thing was about Prince Andrew, which was also more stuff we already knew.
Now, we know that some of it is historic about people who are dead and they can't bring up those cases. And there's also only 6 cooperate. Okay, there's apparently some civil cases and they won't cooperate with law enforcement. They've signed agreements. So they've got to go through and make sure none of those people appear in any evidence. There is just so much complication in this case now that'll take years it'll never happen. It'll just keep falling apart as more and more people take the money and run. And that takes them out of the witness pool. You can't bring them up as a witness. So you've got to take every piece of evidence and with Guthrie's death, there's 6 witnesses gone,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway.
Because apparently her group won't cooperate anymore. And it's like, well, if people aren't cooperating, no wonder cases can't be brought.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Pam Bondi is entirely to blame. I'm just saying she's not entirely to blame. She's definitely made some mistakes and she's made promises she can't keep.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Well, I guess we're gonna head out of here, and I guess we'll see you next week. Unfortunately, no coffee and gaming tomorrow, and I have to start boxing up all my toys. I don't want to do that. That sucks. Anyway, I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep. I'll have a great night. You guys take care, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good day, sir.
Later, dudes.
Good night, Jimbo.
Hell, I got to go.
Peace out.
Burn in hell, New World Order. Fuck you. Fuck you, New World Order. Fuck you, Bill Gates.
I love you. You gotta do better than that. I love you.